unauthorized use of this show is permitted. All of our shows are archived on Blog Talk Radio and on YouTube. Hello, people. Good Friday afternoon. The good thing about Friday is that it's Friday. The bad thing about Friday is we're that much closer to Monday. I hope everybody's doing good. I thank everybody for listening and tuning in. We got two topics today I want to cover, and I know most people are really interested in the tent video. I hope to clear up a few things about that and give some new information. But my first topic is I want to talk about the crypto crew. For those of you who do not know or maybe haven't connected the dots as of yet, I am the founder of the crypto crew. My interest in Bigfoot and other things started when I was just a very young kid, 7, 8 year old. For many years I read and researched on my own, and I really didn't put anything on the internet, or what I did put on the internet was mostly in some, maybe a few forums or something like that, but not the kind of detail I do now. But over the last 2 or 3 years, I've started doing a lot of our stuff on the internet. We currently have team members in 11 U.S. states, and we are currently investigating 2 very recent sighting reports. One is in New Hampshire, and seems like there's new reports coming in from up there just on, every week. And we are also investigating a report from Louisiana. I don't know if either one of them is going to produce a whole lot at this time, but I'll try to keep everybody, posted on it. Also, we have trail cams out. We have trail cams in 3 different states at this time, and we're hoping to expand that soon. Let me see here. And out of all of our people, we got quite a few people that actually go out in the field and do research and investigate sightings and things of that nature. But we got some people who do work from behind the computer, and this type of investigation work should not be overlooked. It's important. Many times you can search sightings and backgrounds and look up people, and you can find a lot of information through the internet. I know a lot of times other people want to put people down who sit behind the keyboard and do research, but that is important as well. And we also offer and do analysis of videos, pictures, and try to keep up on the current news, which a lot of times it goes so fast you really can't keep up with it. And time you weed out the junk stuff. Alrighty. And also, if you are not aware, on our YouTube channel, on our Crypto Crew playlist, we have over 139 videos, and I've got that's over 15 hours of Bigfoot, ghost, UFO videos. So I like to invite everybody to go check that out if you get a chance. And I have got a new video that I will be posting in probably the next 3 or 4 days, and it has to do with the tent video. I've got something I've been working on for a few days on that, and I think it'll help people investigate the tent video. And also, if anybody's had sightings and you would like to report them, we can keep your name anonymous, or we can put it out there, how you like to do it. But we would, if you've seen something, we would like for you to contact us. You can contact us through one of our websites or a Facebook page, or you can just use our email. And the email is thecryptocrew@kih.net. Now, I know what's on everybody's mind is the Rick Dyers Tent video. let me start off by saying I do not know exactly how much of it is true. I've just been following the story like you guys have, but I've been digging for information, trying to find out all I can about it. I spent countless hours looking at Bigfoot costumes on the internet, on searches and obscure websites and things like that, because I want to know the truth too. I want to, if it's a hoax, and I can match it up, I'll do that. But like I say, I don't know what all is true and what's not, but I do know I have information about it, and I want to share some of it with you. And everybody knows it's Rick Dyer, and everybody knows that he's famous for the 2008 Georgia Bigfoot in the freezer stuff with animal guts hoax. I was taken in by that hoax back then. I was really hoping it was all true. And, hey, CNN was covering this. So I think that, a lot of people was taken in by it, and a lot of people were hurt because it turned out, not to be true. And so it was a total hoax. And it was a big hoax, It took in a lot of people and a lot of news networks and things like that. And that at the time of this hoax, I had never spoken to Rick Dyer. I'd never messaged him. I didn't have him on no friends list or anything like that. I hadn't. I knew who he was by seeing him on the news on TV. That's the only way I knew him. And when it turned out to be a hoax, of course, I was pretty disappointed. But it shouldn't be overlooked, though, that now Rick Dyer came out and admitted to the 2008 hoax. It took a while, but he did admit to it. And seeing the grand scale of the 2008 hoax, of how many people was involved, and there had to be more people involved in pulling this hoax than just Rick Dyer. But we should give him some credit, because he did come out and take responsibility for it and say, hey, it was all a hoax. I did it for the money. You can ask him; he'll tell you he did it for the money. So I would like to see some of the other people who was involved, who they may have been, come out and admit their part in it, regardless who it is. And I don't know who it might have been. Maybe Matt Wheaton. I think maybe he might have took some of the burden of the 2008 hoax. Now let's get on to the current tent video. That's really what we need to get to. Now, when that video first came out, it was shot with a cell phone. It was released on YouTube and through a separate website. It was black and white. The footage was black and white. And when I first seen it, my first reaction to it was that this is a mask. This is just a hoax. This is before anybody knew that Rick Dyer had anything to do with it. My first reaction to it was that it was bogus. It was just not true. Facebook Find Bigfoot got a hold of the video and authenticated it like they do. Some of their authentications I like. Some of them I don't really care a whole lot for. But overall, I like the group, and they're pretty good guys. And they're trying. They've brought a lot of people into the Bigfoot community. Matter of fact, I can go as far as say that Facebook Find Bigfoot was one of the people that helped me go ahead and decide to take my research and the things that I know about onto the internet. So I like the guys. But like I say, back to the footage. But when the footage first came out, it was black and white. It wasn't very good. And then later, of course, the colored version came out, and it was you know, in HD, and it looked pretty good. It you know, it's a little bit grainy, but much better than the black and white version. Well, when the color version came out, my thought process changed somewhat, and at this time I still didn't know that Rick Dyer had anything to do with it. But seeing the colored version of it, I thought, well, it does still look somewhat odd to me, but I cannot pinpoint it as being a mask. I did research on the internet, of course, looking at various masks and costumes to try to match this up. But, of course, I couldn't find anything that was an exact match. I found some that was kind of close, but I basically became unsure of the footage, whether it was maybe could possibly be real or not, after I seen the HD colored version. Then, as you guys know, a little later, a few guys came up and linked it to Rick Dyer. And, of course, quick as his name became attached to the tent video, everybody was screaming hoax, and it's understandable because of his, his past hoax. But it still doesn't explain the footage. I know a lot of people's been tied up with the capture of Daisy in a box and all that big story. But to me, the tent video has more validity because there is a video with it. The Daisy in the box thing has nothing. It has just a few posts on a forum, and there's never been anything showed of it, no pictures or anything. So you can pretty much discredit it at this time that there's nobody's. It's not true. It's not happening. But thanks to Facebook, I thought I would check into this tent video a little further. So I became friends with Rick Dyer on Facebook, and I asked him. I've sent him a few questions about it. He didn't know me from nobody, and he answered almost all my questions about it. He didn't hide anything. I mean, that I was aware of. And yes, I know Daisy was proven a hoax. I was just trying to be nice. Anyway, Rick answered my questions through Facebook, and to me, he was very forthcoming with anything I asked him. But it was this was before. Now, when I talked to him about this tent video, this was before the statement had been made that he had actually killed the Bigfoot that's seen in the tent video. So I was just asking general questions about it. But it later came out that he had potentially killed this Bigfoot seen in the tent video. So once I found out this, I started doing some more digging and trying to find out, like location and things, which he told me where it was at in San Antonio. And I was contacted by a person who claimed to have been present and seen Rick shoot this Bigfoot in the tent video. And I know a lot of people say, well, how do you know this person was there? Well, I don't 100% know this person maybe was there. But there were other people with Dyer during this filming of this tent video. He had other people that was in his expedition, other tents in the area, and also the film crew. Mental Films was there. Mental Films is a real company. They are in fact making a documentary video about Bigfoot and the men who hunt them. It's tentatively called of Men and Monsters, of Monsters and Men. and Mental Films has been filming with different Bigfoot people for a few years, including Rick Dyer. And I have contacted Mental Films. I've not had a reply from them, but I have attempted contact with them. Well, anyway, let's get on to what this insider told me. I mean, we do know that there was other people there, so it is possible that the insider could have some information and actually seen it. And a lot of people ask this question. I guess this is the number one thing I've seen about the tent video is, where's the other footage? Why is it only a cell phone? Well, it's my understanding that, according to my contact, that Mental Films, the crew that was there filming, did not even know about the cell phone footage until it was on YouTube. And from my understanding, this upset them. They didn't really like the idea of that, because now, while they're editing their documentary, they have to go back and try to include this cell phone footage in the movie, in the documentary. And of course, that makes you more work. And I also have heard that a lot of the other filming they did with the other Bigfoot guys has been cut out, and it's mostly about Rick Dyer and the tent video and the killing. Now here, let's get on to some details about what this insider has told me. Some of what this person told me was confirmed by Rick Dyer on his Blog Talk Radio show. The Bigfoot that was in the tent video was a male Bigfoot. Some ribs were tacked to a tree. The Bigfoot shows up and he's eating the ribs, and Rick sees it. That's what the informant told me. And he steps out of the tent, but he freezes up. He froze up, and the Bigfoot is just walking away, and it's got the ribs in its hands. So they decide that they're going to go get some more ribs at Walmart, tack it to a tree, and yes, later on, according to this, the Bigfoot did show back up. And that was when Rick had actually stepped out and shot and killed this Bigfoot. And the informant told me that yes, Rick Dyer was in his nothing but his underwear when he shot this thing. And there was more than one shot fired. The shot that actually brought the Bigfoot down, now according to the information that I've been told, hit it in the back of the neck and came out of its mouth, knocking out 2 teeth. And it was all caught on film by Mental Film. And it's at this point now that once he actually shot this Bigfoot, is at this point that the film crew kindly got upset. I guess from my understanding, they didn't think he was actually going to shoot this Bigfoot. That the gun that he took was protection, maybe against other predators. And Rick Dyer is, I think, 6'2", and the film crew kind of got upset because he had shot it, and they probably got, from my understanding, they got a little bit scared. They thought maybe they're going to get in trouble, or they're going to be arrested. And so a little scuffle broke out between Rick Dyer and some of the film crew. Now, I don't know exactly which film crew it was. I think mostly a little pushing and shoving and that type things. But that's why, according to the source, that is why the government agency was called, which I do not know what it is, and that part of the story is kind of weird to me, that some government agency came and took pictures and samples of this, but let them keep it. And I find that slightly odd, but possible. So here's what we were told more about the dead Bigfoot, actual and size. The size of it was 8 foot 9 inches tall. It weighed 632 pounds. And reportedly, the dead Bigfoot is being kept at a university. To my understanding, it's in Texas somewhere. And here's some new information that I've not, that as far as I know, has not been told. The university that was keeping this supposedly dead Bigfoot. Didn't actually have a facility to keep it in. I take it on ice. So they actually constructed something to keep it in. It's my understanding of that now. If I'm wrong on that, forgive me, but that's my understanding of it. And now back to mental films. I know my time's getting short. It goes by so fast. Anyway, mental films. Reportedly, this video, this documentary about the tent and the killing and all that, will come out in mid-April. And it's my understanding that it is going to be at the Tribeca Film Festival and another festival, but I don't remember which one it was. But I think that would be, at least that we got a target point that where we would need to be really looking in April. And, and I can understand people having doubts, as, I got some doubts myself. But I have spoken to Rick Dyer after the alleged killing took place. And believe it or not, if you can take Rick Dyer away from all the garbage that goes on the internet, he's really a down-to-earth, pretty nice guy. I mean, he's a very likable person. Does that make his story true? No. But does it make it not true? No. But there's a whole lot of garbage going on the internet about Bigfoot and stuff that's just non-productive. And I can tell you this too, and I cannot give names, but this is important. There are several big-name researchers that are supporting this story, that say it is true, but yet they don't want to put their name out there, I guess because they don't want to be badgered and beat up and go through the whole 2008 thing all over again. But I do know for a fact that there are several big-name researchers that everybody would know if I said their name that do believe this story and do believe that there is a dead Bigfoot. Me personally, I do have some doubts. But if it's true, that it's going to be groundbreaking. It's like the little boy that cried wolf, but eventually the wolf did show up. So I plan on following the story and still digging further on this. We don't have much time left, but if anybody does want to call in and ask me a specific question, I'll do my best to answer it. The call-in number is 818-739-8952. You must push the number 1 when you call in, and I will refer to you by your area code number. But it is an interesting story, and I know there's a lot of people some people are upset that that's a chance that it could be true, that it may be true. Some people are upset because they don't want a Bigfoot killed, and then some people, of course, are saying it's not true. The whole thing's made up, and we really don't know. And also, I should say that maybe a couple days after this, the video was leaked on YouTube, I do believe, Rick did make a trip to London. And reportedly, this is when the deal for the Navigator kind of come about. The size of the Bigfoot was 8 foot and 9 inches tall, is what the inside source told me. And it weighed 632 pounds, which is, to me, is yes, it was in San Antonio. My understanding in that area, there's quite a few homeless people. I know you can hear the 911 call but that is not actually where the shooting took place. Is it true it didn't make Tribeca Film Festival? Well, from what I understand, it will be making the Tribeca Film Festival in April. That's my understanding. But now, back to the location, they are a lot of homeless people in that area. And from my understanding, this Bigfoot is kind of used to seeing people and maybe not interacting with them or being close to them, but it wasn't no big deal for it to see somebody. That is one of the reasons why they was able to get, fairly close to it, supposedly. But like I say, now I don't know if any of this is 100% or not, but I think the story is important enough that it should be followed. Well, I don't know. If you're out in the mountainous area, somebody asked if shouldn't there be a report of shots or shots fired. Well, if you're out hunting, I don't think or even if people think you're hunting, a lot of times shots go off and nobody really cares. So that's if we knew who the government agency was, whether it was Fish and Wildlife or something like that, that would be helpful, because then we could go a little further and find out. But it's definitely worth following. Shouldn't be brushed off just because the video itself has not actually been proven fake. Nobody has been able to match up the video with a mask or a costume. Well, the question is, or the comment is, if there was homeless people, then it wasn't a mountainous area. Well, that's not necessarily true. A Bigfoot would be no different than me or you, or it would roam around as well. And sometimes it doesn't take, change of scenery. It doesn't take very far to be in the mountains or be in the outskirts of town. The story's worth following because the tent video has not been proven fake at this point. It would be a shame for everybody just to dismiss it and not research it to some degree. So I will continue to follow the story. And I seen where Muskie Allen got close to the mask, but my next YouTube video will go in greater detail on the mask aspect of it. I hope to have it up in the next 3 to 4 days. If it's a mask, I think somebody will find it. Somebody somewhere will find the exact mask. Because there's telltale signs that if it's a mask, that will be universal. You'll find it on the next mask. It does look like Paul Sr. from American Chopper. Maybe he walked off with the ribs and got on a motorcycle. That would be great. I'd rather see that on film. That would be good. But I will try to dig more on this and find next Friday. Plan, we will be talking about the Patterson film, which is another controversial type thing. And my time is almost up. I do appreciate everyone, and I hope you enjoyed the show. I know it's kind of a hot button topic, and if I knew, I would tell. If I knew for 100% was fake, I would tell you. At this time, I don't know. I'm looking. I'm still investigating. I have no bones to pick with Rick Dyer or nobody else. I think he's a pretty nice guy, and I'm still going to investigate. And at the very latest in April, we should know. And I appreciate you guys. You guys be safe and be good, and hopefully we'll see you next Friday. God bless you.